What's up, guys? So, gonna do another wedge sole wear test. Uh, this time it's with the Nyx wedge sole. Uh, it's a polyurethane based sole. This is the brown color. Kind of similar looking to a Christie. Feels pretty different though. It's got more of a foamy middle, and then the bottom is it feels kind of harder than a Christie. So kind of if you want to think about it like that, maybe like a mix of the 2021 and the Christie, because the bottom's pretty hard, and the middle is pretty foamy, like a 2021. Um, so they started using this sole, I don't know, a little bit ago. They got rid of the Christie sole. They gave a bunch of reasons why. I don't really believe any of them. Um, but this is a sole that's made by the same company uh, that makes the Thorogood soles. Um, Nyx hasn't come out and said, yeah, it's the same one. But it looks and feels like the sole on the Thorogood. And they did have a video recently where they like cut apart a pair of Red Wings and a pair of Thorogoods. And one of the guys in the videos was just completely glazing the Thorogood sole. So I think that's a pretty great indication that it is exactly the same sole. But they're not going to come out and say that. They're not going to be like, hey, we got rid of the industry standard for a sole that comes on a boot on a much lower price point, but you get to pay the same. So yeah, I wouldn't expect them to do that either. But I think it's pretty safe to say it is the exact same sole as the Thorogood. Um, so I did uh, hit it with the durometer to check the hardness before. I did 3 spots on the bottom, and I got 62, 62, and 63 Shore. Check the side on the foamy part, and I got 37, 35, and 35 Shore. Um, so yeah, a lot harder on the bottom, pretty soft and squishy in the middle, and you can feel that. Like I just put these on to make sure they fit and stuff, and uh, it's pretty soft underfoot, kind of like a 2021. So that's cool. And you can see, I don't know how they make the sole exactly, but you can see how that there's that line there. I don't know if it's like a layer bonded on, which I doubt they would do it like that, since it's relatively a kind of a less expensive sole. I don't know, maybe they like melt it when they're molding it or something, which which makes it a little harder feeling. But yeah, you can see like the layers, the separate layers. So not too much. It's not really thick, the hard part. So I don't know how that would wear like after you wear through it. I'm guessing pretty close to like a 2021 since it's pretty foamy as opposed to like the Christie's uh hard rubber, blown rubber anyway. But so yeah, a little softer underfoot than the Christie. Um but the bottom's pretty hard, so I'm guessing that would probably wear a little better at least until you got through that layer. Um, so I've read some stuff on the internet of people saying uh like they've had it with Thorogoods, and I think I saw one guy with this Nyx one uh that said sometimes like it'll start to smell really bad, like the sole kind of like a urine smell or like a really strong ammonia. I talked to my brother-in-law who wears Thorogoods a lot, or you used to, and he said he never noticed anything like that. So hopefully it isn't like a widespread problem, because that would kind of suck. I really don't want to go around wearing pistols. Uh, this is the brown one. Um, they make a white one and I think a black one, maybe. I can't remember, but they have a white one also. I own a boot with their white one on it, and I checked that with the durometer, and it's within 1 Shore of this. So it should be pretty similar in terms of wear. So there's that. But yeah, so I'm gonna do the wear test on this. I'm gonna wear them for 3 months. You can go back and watch the videos about the Vibram ones that I did. I'll be doing the same stuff, wearing it for the same amount of hours. I actually recorded all the walks in the woods I did on the last ones, so I can do do the same amount of walks in this. And it's next time I see my doctor, I should probably ask him to see if I can get checked for autism. But so yeah, everything will be the same. I'm gonna wear them 4 days a week uh, to work only, and the occasional walk in the woods. And then I'll make some marks, measure and everything to see how much it wears per hour. Um, so it'll be pretty comparable to the Vibram one. So if you're looking at these soles and you care about that stuff, you can go back and we can compare the results to the Vibram ones. But yeah, that's the sole and the test that I'm going to do. Um, we're going to do it over 3 months since this is only one pair of boots. Um, same amount of hours, in around the same seasons too. So it'll see all the same stuff that the Vibram ones did. So I should be done with that in November, or not November, I'm sorry, September. So the next video will come out the beginning of this September, and I'll go over the results. We can look at it. So that yeah, that's the test and the sole. For the boots or MTO through nicks that I did, this is the Pacific Wax Flesh from Horween. Really cool leather, like really interesting color. Kind of a, I don't know, maybe like a dark teal or like a really dark teal, kind of a blue green, and then like some light, it looks almost gray. Yeah, just really interesting. Horween Wax Flesh, I love that stuff. Makes for a great boot. Um, it'll be interesting to see how this wears. Looking forward to it. It's a 8-inch height boot. I got antique hooks and eyes, a pull loop, uh, a mock toe, and unstructured. Oh, I actually got a lineman shank on this too. Just because I've had some nicks on the 2021 before on the H&W, and I don't know, in those ones, it kind of felt like my foot was sitting in it like that, which I didn't really like. I mean, it obviously wasn't sitting in there like that, but that's what it felt like. I just really did not like that feeling. And I've worn some boots with like Christie soles that I get that same, like those Trumans that I did in the last wedge sole wear test. I kind of got not as bad as those nicks on the 2021, but I got that feeling where my foot was sitting like that, which I not too much of a fan of. But in those Trumans, it wasn't as bad, so it was totally fine for me. So I got this with the lineman shank just to raise the heel height up. I've got a pair of whites on the Northwest last, and they do that leather half slip in there also to get the heel height higher, and that's a flat last like this. So yeah, I tried that out. On the boot that I have the white Nix wedge on, I don't have that. Um, and it was kind of fine to wear. I prefer it with the heel raised up a little like this though. And I think that's it for the makeup. You can see how thick the leather is here. So I measured a pair of nicks I had on the dark brown wax flesh, and that was 2.75 millimeters thick. So it's around 2.3, 2.5, 2.4, sorry. Yeah, 2.4 millimeters there. And about 2.4 millimeters there. So like a real 5 to 6 ounce leather. Those other dark brown wax flesh ones that I have from Nix are thicker. Um, those are the only two wax flesh, well, at least Chromexel wax flesh boots from Nix that I have. So I don't know if they just ran this a little thinner, or this is what they usually do, and they ran those dark brown wax flesh ones thicker. But this is actually thinner slightly. Not going to make any difference for me and what I'm going to do with it. Just something to note. You can weigh it. And what I noticed is this sole does feel lighter than the Christie. Like a boot, like that pair of whites that I have on the Christie, just feels a lot more bottom heavy than this. So that's kind of nice if you don't really like heavier boots or something. That sole feels a lot lighter. So it's like 2 pounds. Oh, you can see that. 2 pounds 10 ounces. So kind of what I would expect for like an 8-inch boot. And those are the boots. I think they look pretty cool. I love this color. It really is a really nice color. Looking forward to wear it for the next 3 months. So yeah, I'll come back in the beginning of September, and we can see how the sole wore in comparison to like the Vibram ones and all that. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you next one.